All right, 8:40. As Pix 11 commemorates Harlem Week, we want to highlight the importance of Harlem as the epicenter of social and political movements that really changed the course of history.
One of the people who led many of those movements is Reverend Al Sharpton, and he is joining us this morning. Good morning, Reverend Al.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good to see you.
I tell you what, this man is always working. We see him in the car this morning, so thank you for spending a little time with us as you're traveling to your office. We do want to start with the situation in Albany, though, Reverend. That situation obviously being Governor Andrew Cuomo and the scandal that surrounds him. Do you think he should resign in the wake of the Attorney General's findings?
Well, I think that it is very difficult for me to see how he can continue to govern. You've heard now the Speaker of the New York State Assembly say they're moving forward with some speed around impeachment proceedings. Once you have lost the confidence of the legislature, whether you feel it is right or wrong, you can't govern. And I think that if I were him, I would resign rather than be impeached, would only be the second governor in the history of the state. I think the more important thing is how we move forward and govern during these serious times. I'm already hearing people that are in the political culture start reaching out to me and others saying, what do you think about this candidate or that candidate? No one has said that anyone is running yet, but they're already seeing the post-Cuomo world because there's going to be an election next year.
Yeah.
So I believe that we cannot lose the people in the midst of all of these scandals.
There's a lot of talk, right, about some of those people. So can you give us some names? Who are the people that are reaching out to you saying, what do you think of this person and this person? Who are the names you're hearing surface now as a potential successor to Governor Cuomo should he resign?
Well, the names I'm hearing are Congressman Suozzi. I'm hearing certainly the controller, DeNapoli's name. I'm hearing Jumaane Williams' name. Even some people who've done politics for the Attorney General, Letitia James. None of them are officially with her, but that have done that. Some of our politics in the past have asked me what I thought. And I'm hearing the names of others that just pop up. But in terms of people directly that have done political consulting works, those are the names I'm hearing. All of them saying that none of the candidates have said to them they're running, but I think they're getting ready just in case they'll call in to say, I got this from person A, B, this is what Sharpton's saying.
Yeah.
So I'm hearing it more on a preliminary level than on a definitive that they're exploring a run.
Interesting enough, Reverend Al, we were hearing from a political expert earlier this week that said even Hillary Clinton's name was being floated around. I don't know if you had heard that as well, but I have to ask you, the longer Governor Cuomo waits to possibly resign, is that going to hurt the Democratic Party?
I think that the longer they wait and the longer this is not resolved with a resignation or impeachment in a midterm election, the Assembly and the State Senate, where you have an Assembly Speaker, Carl Hastings, where you have Andrea Stewart-Cousins as the majority leader now in the Senate, we risk the majority leadership in the New York State Senate. We risk the speakership. That means that in terms of what we're going to do with COVID-19, what we've been doing with police reform, what we're doing with education is at risk. So this is bigger than any one person.
Right.
This is about, do we lose to a party that will in many ways rescind, revoke, or change the things that we have seen done over the last few years. Sometimes you have to sacrifice for the bigger picture.
Yeah, and Reverend, the big question that we've had with a lot of the Assembly members and leaders in general that we've had on the morning show is who is leading the state right now in terms of the crisis that we are facing as the Delta variant spreads and cases are rising. You've often talked about communities of color. They've been hit hard by COVID. So let me ask you, while we wait to see who's really running the state, do you support a vaccine mandate for the city, especially with kids heading back to school?
I think that I have said that people ought to have the option, but if you do not have a mandate, then many people will not do it. What I've supported is that people ought to be made to be vaccinated or submit to testing 2 or 3 times a week. That ought to be, in my opinion, non-negotiable. I think some people, for religious reasons, that don't want to be vaccinated, you have to respect that. But then they have to be tested 2 or 3 times a week. And I think that that is the way we can proceed.
I want to talk about something that's near and dear to you. In 2 weeks, we will be marking the anniversary of the March on Washington, and you are organizing a March on Washington as well. So tell us why this year is so significant for you.
This year is vital because of the voting rights bills that are before the Congress and the Senate. So Martin Luther King III and Andre King, his wife, and I have called this march, and we're going a different route. We're going from McPherson Plaza, which is right at Black Lives Matter Street, because we want to march this time past the White House, past the Capitol, and then do our rally right in front of where the backdrop is the museum, the Smithsonian Museum for African American History and Culture. Thousands will be coming around the country to march this route. We want to march a mile past the buildings that can make this decision happen. We are in the midst of a real threat to our voting rights being suppressed. These two bills before the Senate must pass. Otherwise, voting will be tremendously undermined. August 28th is important. People ought to go to nationalactionnetwork.net and find out where they can register, and we get free buses that are going around the New York area to bring you to the march.
Yeah, it's certainly going to be a powerful, powerful march, and you know that we will be there. Pix 11 also spending the entire week really focusing on Harlem Week, having pieces each and every day to celebrate Harlem Week. And I have to ask you, while we have you here, what is your favorite thing about Harlem?
Well, I was born and raised in Brooklyn. I used to come to Harlem as a kid to try to trail around behind Adam Clayton Powell, the congressman. 30 years ago, I moved my whole national operations and National Action Network to Harlem. Harlem is the capital of Black America, our culture, our politics, our strive for equality. The Harlem Renaissance set a whole new tone. So you have not lived if you have not come to Harlem. So Harlem has been a special place in my life, a special place in the life of this country. And it's been home for me for the last 30 years in terms of my activism. National Action Network is based in Harlem for 3 decades, and we wouldn't have it any other way.
Well, there you go. And you know how to turn up a celebration. I understand that you were partying down with former President Obama celebrating his birthday over the weekend.
Well, those that say don't know and those that know won't say.
Well said. Well said, sir. Reverend Al Sharpton, appreciate you being here.
Well, you're welcome at any party that we have. Thank you, Reverend Al.
Thank you.
Good to see you.